Okay, so this video is about chaining multiple commands in the command line. Okay, a quick disclaimer. If you're an experienced user, you probably know all the stuff I'm going to talk about. But if you're a beginner, well, then you're in for a ride. Because chaining commands is so fundamental that you're going to use it every day without even realizing that you're doing it. So with that said, let's get started. Let's get into it. Okay, so the most basic way to chain commands is using the semicolon, right? It'll run commands, it'll run two commands separated, two different commands, but you can specify them in a single line. So command 1, command 2, and it will run them both. The important thing to note here is that semicolon doesn't care whether the first command fails or it runs successfully. It will run the second command regardless. So for example, if I specify something, this is not a command, this is not a valid command obviously, and I specify some valid command after that. So the semicolon operator will not care whether the first command ran successfully or not. It will run the second command as well. So ZSH command not found, but it ran the second command. So that's how you use semicolon. The next operator that you could use here is and yeah. Okay, so and like semicolon will run two commands, but the difference here is if the first command fails, it does not run the second command. So it's basically like an if statement, not exactly, but somewhat like an if statement. So if this command runs, then run the second command as well. So in this script, it will run make directory. It will make a directory named projects, and then cd into that the newly created projects directory. But if a projects directory already exists, the mkdir command, make directory command, will fail, and it will not cd into the project directory. Yeah, these are all examples. Running the I'll do an ls and a projects directory is there. So that's how and command works, which is pretty good. There's some more examples here. I'll quickly talk about them as well. So which docker, it will specify which docker, and then it will run the docker command to give me the docker version. Yeah, I am not sure if this should work even though the docker daemon is not running. Check. Yeah, okay, it works. See, so first it ran which docker, or which docker, and the output was this, and then it ran docker -- version. Pretty cool, right? And similarly, this will also work. It will ping google.com one time, and if it's successful, it will echo connected. So that's like connected to the internet. Yeah, connected. Okay, so there are three major ways you'll chain commands. One is semicolon, one is the and operator, and one is the or operator. So like and operator, it's like and operator, but the only difference is it does not run the second command if the first command runs successfully. So it's like if this runs successfully, then don't run this. Okay, let me think. So it's like an if else command. So if this runs successfully, then it's all right. Else run the other command. So yeah, so this is cd non-existent. So if this directory exists, that's cool. Otherwise, it will run an echo command saying that directory missing. So does it do that? Yeah. So cd gives me this error, no such file or directory, and then due to the or command, this echo command runs because the first command failed. And yeah, Similarly, this will also work. I mean, it will give me which Python and will not run the Python not installed echo statement. Yeah, same. Yeah, this will also work the same way. rm file.txt. If file.txt exists, it will just delete that file. Otherwise, it will give me an echo. It will run the echo statement saying that file already gone. So yeah, file already gone. See. Yeah, one last thing I'll talk about is the, just a sec. Yeah, so okay, yeah, it's the background operator, not the operator, like not sure what you call it, but it's you could use it to run commands in the background, right? So for example, I usually run caffeinate, so that's an utility that allows your Mac to stay awake even though it's past its idle timer, so whatever. Yeah, so if I do this, it'll run it in the background. Now I can see jobs. So this is basically what background commands are running by this shell, and there are these two. I didn't know there was an nvim. You could bring it in the foreground using fg, and then yeah, fg, this is the caffeinate command, and now caffeinate is running again. You can close it. So you could use this as well to run commands in parallel, right? So you could run multiple commands. Yeah, so first I'll show you an example. This is not using the AND command. We'll get to an example that uses the background command, the single AND operator. This is just using the AND and OR operators. So the first line will test if a config.txt exists, and if it exists, then due to this AND operator, it will run the second command as well, which says echo config found. So you'll get an config found in your stdin, that's the terminal. Otherwise, you'll get a config missing text in the stdin. So I'll run this config missing because there is no config.txt file in this directory, right? So the second command is mkdir, so it will make a backup directory and echo created. Otherwise, it will say already exists. So yeah, that's, I don't think I'll have to run it. That's pretty self-explanatory. So the last command that I use it, I mean pretty regularly, is okay. Yeah. So what does this do? I'll rewrite it from scratch, right? It's a one-liner, nothing very complex. So first of all, caffeinate, like I already said, it keeps your MacBook awake. This is prevent system idle sleep, so an I flag. And then I run it in background because I want to run more stuff, right? I don't want it to, because if I don't run it in the background, it will just blocks the terminal, right? So run it in background, and then create a variable cf, that's caffeinate dollar exclamation mark. So what's dollar exclamation mark? Dollar exclamation mark is it returns the PID. PID is how do I explain it? Process ID. Yeah. So it's the process ID of some process that's running. So it returns the process ID of the last created process which is running in the background at the moment, right? If I say caffeinate and if I run it in background, so this is the process ID. Now if I do an echo this, I will get the same process ID. So it will returns the process ID of the last created process which is still running in the background. Yeah. So now I'll store that as $I. So I'll store the process ID in a variable named cf. Then I'll do a brew update. So that's brew is my package manager which manages all the packages, all the installed stuff. So like all the apps and the CLI tools, programs, whatever. It manages those. So brew update, I can run brew upgrade. Okay, I'll use an AND operator because if brew update runs successfully, then run brew upgrade, and then run to clean up. So this removes any unused dependencies or previous installed versions of software's applications, whatever, right? And then I can kill the caffeinate command. Okay, so this would be $cf. Yeah, that's the one-liner. So it works pretty well. I'll not upgrade it right now because it takes quite a lot of time, but I'll just do a brew update because I know brew is already updated. At least I think it is. And now see, it created a temporary caffeinate. So yeah, caffeinate I. Here is the process. And okay, that's not the process. Wait, there was already a process running, so just let me kill the caffeinate. So this is 1539 369, and the other is 91. Oh, it should auto complete it, right? Yeah, so terminated. Okay, now there are no processes named caffeinate, and when I run this command, it will create a process that's caffeinate I, and it will keep that process alive for the time that it's running brew update. And as soon as brew update finishes, it goes to the second brew update finishes, it goes to the last command, that's kill $cf, cf being the process ID of the caffeinate command that I created, and it terminates it. Doesn't matter if brew update, the command in the middle, fails or it works, because we are using semicolons here, right? So it terminates the caffeinate all the same. And yeah, this is pretty cool because you don't want your computer like shutting down or idling. I mean shutting down basically when you're updating stuff, right? Because I usually keep my Mac in hibernation mode, so it's it like somewhat turns off after a specified amount of time, and this prevents it. So yeah, I hope you learned something cool, and if you did, consider liking this video and subscribing. Thank you.